Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VIN 2373, and it is a 2017 Smoky Granite Mica 1GO with the LA30 interior, which is a red interior. Smoky Granite Mica is the third rarest color on these cars, next to Flare Yellow, Molten Pearl, Smoky Granite Mica. It's even rarer than the anniversary cars because there was 100 of those. And I'll get to the production in a minute. So this popped up at a BMW dealer in Kansas, and I don't have any pictures of it yet. They haven't provided it, but I'm trying to kind of get the information out there before I get inundated with questions. What do I know about it? Well, here's the answer. So this BMW dealer, they want $47,000, and it's got 59,000 miles. Seems very low for the market right now. You know, just looking at that alone, this car is probably already priced $3,000 to $5,000 below where the market is on these cars right now. So good to see that. Let's see if there's anything else that may have some red flags. Getting into the production, you heard me say that Smoky Granite Mica is the third rarest color that was offered on these cars. Flare Yellow, Molten Pearl, and Smoky Granite Mica. They're even rarer than the anniversary cars. There were 100 anniversary cars. There were 86 of these. 86 out of the 2,347 US 49 cars that have been identified. That is 3%. 3% of these cars were Smoky Granite Mica. And of those 86, only 46 had the LA30 interior, which is the red interior. 2017 specifically, 39 of the 342 cars were Smoky Granite Mica, so a little more popular color for 2017. 19 of those had the LA30 red interior. So this car is one of 19. Despite it being fairly rare as far as the paint goes, it's still somewhat of a common combination for these cars. So one of 19 or one of 46 overall. But one of 19, there are several cars that are like one of 3, one of 8, one of 9, what have you. So one of 19, you know, a little on the more common side, but it's not like one of 400 or one of 300 something. So that's the production. Now let's look at Carfax, Epic VIN, and Auto Trader. So Carfax shows it as a one owner, one accident car on September 25th, 2020. The front and front left is where damage was reported. Epic VIN shows it as a 3 owner, one accident car, and that's the same September of 2020. Epic VIN sometimes seems to over-report the number of owners. I think if it's for sale and someone pulls the ad and then lists it again, it counts that as an owner for some reason. And so I don't look too far into the number of owners that Epic VIN reports. AutoCheck shows it as a 1 owner, 1 accident. Again, that September 25th, 2020 accident. And it says front impact with parked vehicle with the bumper and left fender repaired plus a mechanical repair. Front left, that's where the transmission cooler is on these cars. So, you know, maybe that's the mechanical repair. Who knows? But there was an impact. That's the point. Previous sales, it was first listed for sale August 25th of 2017 for $90,000 in Kansas, and it was still for sale in October, but it then had 3,500 miles put on it, so it was probably like a dealer demo or something like that. And I guess then it sold, and the next listing is August 2nd, 2025, $47,000, 59,000 miles. So based on all of that, it looks like it's a 1 owner, 1 accident car, and hit a parked car. That was what AutoCheck says. You know, that's about the most amount of information we have on it. So since we don't have any pictures, we'll go ahead and just jump right into the service history. It was last serviced at Lexus August of 23, so about 2 years ago, the last time it's seen the inside of a Lexus dealer. However, it has been serviced since then. It looks like it's been serviced at independent mechanics, third-party mechanics. Nothing wrong with that. The fact that it's been serviced, it's been reported on the Carfax, you know, that's good. So the first entry of note is March of 18, had the JLB recall. That's the high pressure fuel pumps. So good, that's done. About 90+% of these cars have that done. I'm glad to see that that's out of the way. May of 2018, it had a scratch repair that was done. And June of 2018, it was noted that the window switch was unplugged, it wasn't working. The washer fluid wasn't working. And it also has a note that it was a show car. I don't know if that means, a dealer display. Does it mean it went to an auto show? It wasn't a press car or anything like that. So it was obviously on some kind of display somewhere. And so they unhooked things, I'm assuming with people getting in and out so they don't trigger the washers, the wipers or anything like that, the windows. Not unheard of. And so just something of note there. August of 23, they fixed a button, had the 45,000 mile service and a battery. And that was the last service at the Lexus dealer. However, as I said, on the Carfax, it looks like it's been serviced at an independent dealer. It's had the brakes done, the oil changes, things like that. So, I don't have any causes or concerns there. So now that the service history we've looked at, there are things that I see that it have not been done. For example, I would check the carbon fiber trim carefully because there's no evidence of any carbon fiber trim on this car being replaced. There's 5 pieces that commonly delaminate: the center console, the left and right front doors, and the left and right pieces on the dash. None of those 5 have been done. If you replace just those 5, you're looking at almost $8,000 unless you send it to a company like, there's a company in Florida I've talked about before, SMA Fabrication. They'll redo them for about $200, $300 a piece. So you can save quite a bit of money if you can do it yourself, remove the parts, send them to them, down for a week or two and then back. Other things that have not been done, the coolant valley plate, I would go inspect that. If you do a pre-purchase inspection, do a mechanical inspection very carefully, very closely. Make sure they put a scope under the intake manifold so you can see if it's leaking or not. If you see pink crusty coolant, set about $2,000 aside for that. It's a very labor-intensive job. Another thing that I haven't seen done on this, anything about the HVAC servos. Again, that's kind of a common issue that plagues these cars. If it hasn't been done, when you're doing a pre-purchase inspection, I would plug the scanners in and make sure there's no code stored in the body control module. Some of these cars were plagued with these issues, others didn't have any at all. And so far, this looks like one that didn't have any issues. This being a 2017, the ZLZ program also applies. That's the dash with the sticky, cracked, deforming, anything like that. If there's any kind of defect on it, Lexus will replace it, no questions asked, under their customer service program for the 16s and 17s. And it covers about 1,800 cars, most of them being 16s, but the 17s are covered under that. You get an entire new dash assembly as a result of that. The part's not that expensive, but it's like 6 hours of labor, so you can spend quite a bit of money if you have to replace this dash outside of that program. So even the slightest deformation, stickiness, anything like that, Lexus will replace it. And so that was done on my car as well. I'm starting to see it on more cars as we get up to this 10-year mark. But 10 years from the end service date, that is the timeline. So this car, you've got probably another 1.5 years or so to get it done if it hasn't been done yet, which obviously it hasn't according to the service history. And as always, check the lower control arm bushings and by that you can just look at the inner tire wear. If it has brand new tires on just the front, that may be triggering some alarm bells, but I would say look at the inside of the front tires, make sure they're not worn. If they are, you're probably due for tires, alignment, and lower control arm bushings because of that. The lower control arm bushings are the cause. Another thing that plagues the 17s to the 2020s, and the 16s aren't affected by this, is the active damping, the electronically damping shocks. They were known to leak on these on the 17s and up. So this is no exception. There's no evidence of any of them being replaced in the service history on this car. So inspect the shocks, make sure you don't see anything oozing out of the sides of the shocks. Obviously the oil seal is bad there. They're not super expensive to replace, and the updated part appears like it has resolved the issue. So something else to check out. And I guess finally, I would check out that front bumper, the headlight, the left front corner as a result of that accident, and make sure there's not any other damage. Would I buy this car without even seeing the photos? Would I buy this car? I think as long as it was properly repaired, and knowing that there may be some future dollars you have to put into this car for shocks, for carbon fiber, valley plate, things like that, the price is cheap enough where that makes sense. And so, yeah, I think if I was in the market, this would be one that I would definitely consider. The accident aside, it's well serviced. You may look for signs of heavy winter driving, especially because it's in Kansas. Kansas is right in the middle of the salt belt, so there are, the roads in the wintertime and the salt they use, it can wreak havoc on the underside of these cars. So that would be something, but I think that probably just a pretty heavy mechanical inspection and kind of the body of that left front, that would be what it would take to convince me that, yeah, this is cheap enough, it's got low miles, 60,000 miles. I probably wouldn't hesitate once you get a really thorough pre-purchase inspection. So when they do come out with photos, I will make sure to update this, but that's what I have on it right now, VIN 2373. So thanks again for watching, guys. See you soon.